Hello Scorpio, Didici here with the March 2021 horoscope. As you can see, I'm going to animate this just to show you how the beginning of the month is a bit of a slow wind up for you with the moon transiting this 12th house. Not a bad thing. You're probably enjoying your own company right now. See the triangular blue aspects here? These are lovely. Fortified by the node, which is in the spiritual, psychological sector of your horoscope, and all of these planets here in the 4th house. Now, it's nice that Mercury has gone forward now. Whatever domestic chaos you had in your life is likely to be eased now, to say the least. And that's a good thing. You can start focusing back again on your career. As we see here on the 5th, the transit into the 2nd house means refocusing on your finances. Going back over your past here, which is this South Node connection, can yield some good results, even though there are some challenges here. Be careful with speculation and investments here, just through this few day period here, 5th and 6th, because we have this square aspect to this nebulous approaching Sun and Neptune conjunction. And that's important because Neptune can confuse issues sometimes. You can be intense and a little bit obsessive with this Moon-Pluto conjunction on the 9th and 10th. Then we're back to the domestic situation. Some stuff to clear up on the home front. That shouldn't be too bad. You have to slip into what other people want, into their way of thinking, rather than being combative. Cordiality is really the key word during this few days. And then you have the moon moving through the 5th house. And this is the other important conjunction. You've got a dominance of the 4th house here, which is domestics. 5th house, which is creativity. You may be doing a lot of creative work in the home itself. Some of you may have moved. I mentioned that last month. The new moon is the important thing there in your 5th house. A resurgence of your creative impulse, which may have been waning for some time. And if you're anything like me, I've been finding it hard to be motivated, to be honest. It's been a little bit difficult to, let me get rid of that, to get motivated. The new moon there on the 14th is an excellent omen for remotivating yourself and getting your focus back on track. That's followed up by the 6th house transit of the moon. That's got to do with your workplace activities, getting more detailed and analytical about what you do, and being fiery about it, because your 6th house, of course, is the sign of Aries. Some sudden or unexpected outcome in a relationship, business partnership or negotiation, shown by the Moon-Uranus conjunction there in the 7th house. Also 7th house, unknown to many people, even astrologers, has to do with changes or movement. Here I think it's got to do with relationships. We've got the Moon and Mars conjunction in your 8th house, stimulating your sexual and shared sort of resources, sex, intimacy, love, and the deeper psychological aspects, as we mentioned earlier, shown by the moon transiting this area. Mars is not altogether welcome in that 8th house, but being your ruling planet, we can make a bit of an exception also, because although this is the sign of Gemini, the 8th house is really the natural sign or placement of Scorpio. So Mars functions okay in a way for you there, as long as you are working with this North Node to really determine what it is that your key strengths are, because that's what you should be doing now. If you're doing anything that's off your actual destiny path, you're going to be very resistant and very, very unhappy. That has a lot to do with your relationships as well. Notice here Venus and Sun on the 20th and 21st move into this 6th house. Now the 6th house is the house of enemies. The Sun has to do with your career. Venus has to do with your relationships. And so in that area, you have to be careful that you don't rub people up the wrong way. You can be more cordial during this full moon phase here, as the moon is transiting your 11th house on the 27th and 28th, on the 28th and 29th, here in the 12th house. That again is that pulling back phase that we started the month with. You need to just examine yourself, study how you're dealing with other people. We see here that your spiritual insights will get strong at this time. If you've made an enemy of a partner or a co-worker, this is the time to get back into a more cordial framework with them. You need to make love, not war, is what I'm saying. Moon finishes its transit this month in your first house, a rather emotional area of the horoscope, but shining directly over here onto that 7th house. So it tells us clearly, especially with these planets, relationships may, I don't know, you may have had some problems in the last month or two that temporarily eased, but now you'll find that that problem's reared its head again. So you have to deal with it. The opposition there shows us that the person you're dealing with may not be acting rationally, or they can be keeping you in suspended terror in some area. Relax, breathe, and don't react. That's the secret to solving this particular problem. Now, if you want more on what's happening in March, go over to the site, astrology.com.au. I've written up some more stuff for you this month. You've got the yearly forecast, which is always important to look at the month in terms of where the next few months are. You get a bit of a preview there, a little snippet of what's coming before the April forecast. But I will be back here. Subscribe, drop me a note, come back April, and I'm going to tell you what's happening to you, Scorpio, in the coming months of 2021. Good luck. Take care now. Bye-bye.